Nobody touched the cub. Not the guards, not the doctors, not even the prison handlers responsible for feeding. Food trays were shoved through containment slots mechanically. Medical scans happened remotely, and every report attached the same warning label in bold crimson letters. The cub sat alone inside a reinforced containment chamber beneath Station Orpheus. Small, silent, and completely isolated from the rest of the galaxy, its silver eyes followed every movement beyond the glass carefully. Not with aggression, with fear. But nobody noticed the difference anymore. Because the species inside that chamber terrified entire star systems. The Draith, predators from the dead moons beyond the Vafra expanse. Massive as adults, violent in combat, nearly unstoppable during war, for decades. Stories about the Draith spread like nightmares across civilized space, colonies destroyed. Ships torn apart, military battalions, overwhelmed by impossible strength. Eventually, the Galactic Council declared the species too dangerous to coexist with peacefully. Extermination campaigns followed soon after. Officially, the Draith no longer existed, or at least, that's what the galaxy believed, until someone found the cub. Lieutenant Noah Reyes first saw it during a routine security transfer. He expected another dangerous prisoner. Instead, he found a child. The cub barely reached his waist. Dark gray fur covered its thin frame, while heavy restraints cuffed round its tiny wrists, far too small to justify them. Its ears flattened immediately when Noah entered the chamber. The handlers stepped backward nervously. "Careful," one guard whispered. "It mimics weakness." Noah frowned slightly. "It's a cub. That thing slaughtered 3 scavengers on Kepri outpost." The cub immediately lowered its head. "I didn't mean to." The room went quiet. Noah blinked. The voice sounded small. Young, terrified, not monstrous, the lead handler activated a holographic report. Recovered near abandoned mining tunnels. Likely hiding after extermination fleets cleared the sector. The cub flinched hearing the word extermination. Noah noticed. The handler continued coldly. "Recommendation from Council Intelligence is immediate termination." That sentence hit harder than Noah expected. The cub's breathing became shaky instantly. Still, it said nothing, didn't beg, didn't cry. Just sat there quietly, like it already knew how this ended. Something about that bothered Noah deeply, because truly dangerous creatures usually fought to survive. This cub looked like survival had already given up on it. Station Orpheus served as one of the Galactic Council's isolated processing facilities. Officially, it handled high-risk biological threats. Unofficially, it handled things the galaxy wanted forgotten. Which explained why the cub ended up there. No public records. No trial. No investigation. Just a child awaiting execution, because everyone feared what it might become someday. Noah hated that. Not because he trusted the Draith. He didn't know enough to trust anything yet, but because humans had seen this pattern before. Fear first, questions later. Human history overflowed with examples. And usually, innocent people suffered most. So instead of signing the execution order, Noah requested a direct behavioral evaluation. The station commander nearly exploded. "You want to enter the containment cell?" "Yes. That species tears through armored doors. It's currently afraid of cafeteria workers." "Lieutenant, if the council wants this cub dead," Noah interrupted calmly, "they can at least prove it deserves death first." That argument created problems immediately. Council representatives protested. Security officers called Noah reckless. One politician openly accused humanity of predator sympathy. Typical politics, but Noah ignored all of it. Because the moment he entered the containment chamber, everything changed. The cub immediately retreated into the far corner, not attacking, hiding. Its silver eyes remained locked on Noah's every movement nervously. The restraint cuffs rattled softly as it pulled farther back against the wall. Noah crouched, slowly, several feet away. "Hey," no response. "I'm Noah." Silence, then finally, a tiny voice answered quietly. "They call me Subject 7. Noah's expression hardened instantly. "That's not a name." The cub lowered its eyes. "I know." That sentence alone nearly shattered something inside him. No child should forget their own name. Noah sat carefully against the wall opposite the cub. "What did your family call you?" The cub hesitated. Long enough that Noah thought it wouldn't answer, then softly, "Rin." "There we go," Noah said gently. "Nice to meet you, Rin." The cub stared at him silently, confused. Like kindness felt suspicious. That was somehow worse than fear. Over the next several days, Noah kept visiting. At first, the station staff assumed he was insane, maybe suicidal, possibly both, but every report came back the same. No aggression. No violence, no threatening behavior whatsoever. Ryan barely even raised its voice. Instead, the cub asked strange questions. "Why do humans smile with their teeth? Why do your shoes make noise? Why do station seat lights hum differently at night?" Normal child questions. Curious questions. And slowly, Noah realized something horrifying. Ryan had spent most of its life alone. The cub knew almost nothing about the galaxy outside survival. One evening, Noah brought actual food, instead of nutrient packs, cooked meat, warm bread. The cub stared at the tray cautiously. "This isn't poisoned?" That question hit like a punch. "No," Ryan hesitated. "Why?" Noah leaned against the wall. "Because you're hungry." The cub looked genuinely confused by the answer, then slowly took the food. Its claws trembled slightly. "You're strange," Ryan whispered quietly. Noah laughed softly. Humans hear that a lot. For the first time, the cub almost smiled. Almost. Unfortunately, good moments never stayed hidden long on Orpheus. Security footage leaked. Soon, council officials learned the human lieutenant was personally interacting with a living Draith cub. The backlash exploded instantly. Human recklessness threatens galactic security. Predators cannot be rehabilitated. Terminate the creature immediately. Public networks flooded with fear-driven outrage. Nobody cared the cub was a child. Nobody cared it had never harmed anyone aboard Orpheus. All they saw was the word Draith, and fear always spread faster than truth. The station commander finally confronted Noah directly. "You need to stop this." "Why?" "Because people are panicking." "That sounds like their problem. This isn't a joke anymore." Noah's expression darkened. "I know." The commander lowered his voice carefully. "Council intelligence is arriving tomorrow." That changed everything. Because Council intelligence only handled one kind of situation. Permanent ones. That night, Noah visited Rin one last time before lights-out rotation. The cub immediately sensed something wrong. "They're coming to kill me." Not a question, a statement. Noah stayed silent too long. And Ryan understood anyway. The cub curled tighter against the wall quietly. "It's okay." Noah frowned. "No, it's not." Ryan looked toward him sadly. "My people hurt the galaxy. You were a child. That doesn't matter to them." Noah hated how calmly the cub said it, like acceptance had replaced hope long ago. Then Ryan asked something softly that Noah never forgot. "If humans were feared enough, would they kill your cubs too?" Silence filled the containment chamber. Because humanity knew the answer already. History had taught it painfully well. Noah stood slowly, then made a decision that would change both their lives forever. The next morning, Council intelligence arrived with armed escorts, black uniforms, expressionless faces. Execution authority already approved. The station gathered inside the main containment sector, while officials prepared transfer authorization. Rain sat silently behind reinforced glass. Small, alone, one intelligence officer activated the terminal, proceeding with species threat neutralization. Then Noah stepped forward. No. The room froze. The officer stared coldly. Lieutenant Reyes, move aside. No. This does not concern humanity. Noah's jaw tightened instantly. A child concerns humanity. Murmurs spread across the chamber. The officer's voice sharpened. The Draith are monsters. No, Noah said quietly. You decided they were. Security teams tensed. Weapons shifted. The atmosphere turned dangerous immediately. Then suddenly, a station analyst shouted from the upper terminal deck. Wait! Everyone turned. The analyst looked pale. I found something. A massive holographic archive appeared across the chamber. Old war records, hide files, council-restricted data. And then, the truth came out. The Draith had never started the war. Gasps echoed instantly across the chamber. The analyst continued shakily. The original conflict was triggered by illegal mining operations inside Draith nesting territory. More files appeared. Civilian deaths, dieted hatcheries, council cover-ups, unauthorized extermination, orders disguised as defensive campaigns. The room descended into stunned silence. Because suddenly, the entire galaxy's narrative collapsed. The Draith weren't monsters, they were survivors. And the extermination campaigns? Genocide. Ryan stared up at the holograms in shock. My mother told the truth. The cub's voice broke slightly. She said we were protecting our children. Nobody answered, because nobody could. The intelligence officer looked furious. Those files are classified. They're evidence. Noah snapped back. The officer reached for his weapon. Security teams reacted instantly. But before violence erupted, Rin stepped forward against the containment glass. The tiny cub looked across the terrified room quietly. I don't want revenge. Silence. Silver eyes filled with pain. But I want everyone to stop being afraid of us. That hit harder than any weapon ever could. Because the child everyone feared most wanted peace. The aftermath shook the galaxy. Council investigations exploded across multiple systems. Officials resigned. Military commanders vanished under criminal inquiry. Public outrage spread faster than the original fear ever had. And at the center of it all, one tiny Draith cub became the symbol of everything the galaxy tried to bury. But for Rin, the changes felt smaller, more personal. The restraint cuffs disappeared first, then the containment then finally, the word subject. Noah stood beside the station observation deck, weeks later, watching transport ships move across the stars. Soft footsteps approached behind him. Ryan carefully stepped beside the human. Free, still nervous sometimes, still healing, but alive. The cub looked up quietly. Why did you protect me? Noah thought about the answer for a long moment, then smiled faintly. Because somebody should have done it sooner. Ryan stared out at the stars silently. Beyond Orpheus, the galaxy still struggled with the truth. Fear didn't disappear overnight. Neither did hatred. But maybe, just maybe, one human refusing to abandon a frightened cub had changed the future enough to matter, and sometimes, that was how humanity saved worlds. Not through war, not through power, but by protecting the life everyone else gave up on.